Brian Baldinger here on the Honda Insider Report. I loved your particular Baldy breakdown on Quentin Nelson a couple weeks ago when he just absolutely, was that against the Jaguars? Was that what that was?
Well, it's every week, Rich.
The lineman from the Colts.
The argument, Rich, going back to, you're at the draft in Dallas, and can you take a guard at number 6? He's the best player in that draft. And I think there's Saquon, there's all these great rookies. It's a great class. But this Quentin Nelson has changed the entire culture in Indianapolis. They went 6 weeks without giving up a sack to Andrew Luck. They're a hot team. They've won 5 in a row. They'll take anybody on. They go down to Houston this week. It's a great matchup against a good defensive line. But this guy's attitude, first of all, he's great at what he does. He's just an earth mover. He's just a John Deere tractor in a football uniform. But then he runs around the field like he's got a third lung. And he's there at the end of every play to pick up his running back, protect his quarterback, go grab his receiver off the field. He's just changed. He's made Anthony Costanzo and Ryan Kelly better at center and at left tackle right now.
Well, it certainly is adding up to wins. There's no doubt about it. So let's start brass taxing it here. Based on the film that you've seen, based on your analysis, you've got a choice for Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, you've got Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack and J.J. Watt. You can maybe even throw Darius Leonard, who we had on yesterday's show from the Colts, in that mix. Who do you choose?
Well, I would add Eddie Jackson to that conversation, Rich. I mean, the Bears are a hot team, obviously. They go to New York this week. He's got 3 defensive touchdowns, and none bigger than the one last week that puts these games on ice. But it'd be hard right now to go against Aaron Donald and what he's doing. The only team that has been successful in the last 2 months to keep him off the quarterback was the New Orleans Saints. And if you talk to their offensive line coach, Dan Rauscher, that week, they spent hours after midnight designing schemes so that he never was singled up one time the whole day by formation, by personnel groupings, and they did a great job limiting him. But it'd be hard right now to say that Aaron Donald, through 12 weeks, isn't the Defensive Player of the Year.
And then in terms of the schemes that you've seen, and that the how it all is borne out in meeting rooms throughout the week, and then unveiling them at the proper time, pushing the right buttons. Who's your Coach of the Year?
Wow, there's so many good ones. But I tell you, Rich, I've been watching football as long as you and as long as anybody. I've never seen a Bears offense that looks like this, ever.
Wow.
And they are just an exciting group. And every guy that they brought in, from Trey Burton to Allen Robinson to Taylor Gabriel to Anthony Miller out of Memphis, I mean, they've all hit on every one of those players. And that offense right now is a handful for anybody. So while Sean Payton and Sean McVay and Andy Reid, all those guys are great candidates, to right now, to see what Matt Nagy is doing, they've done it without their starting quarterback. They've done it without Khalil Mack. They've done it without Kyle Long. And they keep winning and finding new ways to win. Right now, it would be hard for me to go against Matt Nagy and what he's doing.
Do you think the Bears win a playoff game, Brian?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. We got to see how it plays out, obviously, Rich,
sure,
with
of course,
if they're on the road or at home. But
they'll be at home. I think they're going to be at home for the first one, though, Brian.
Yeah.
I think.
I think they win the division,
you could sit there and say it could be against Seattle, could be against Minnesota, could be against Carolina. I mean, you have no idea. Could be against Dallas or Washington. You have no Philly. I mean, there's a whole variety of teams that could walk in there first Saturday or Sunday of January.
There's no question. And so the only home game that they have lost this year was the New England Patriots, where they put up 31 points. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough assignment for any team to go into Soldier Field. As crazy as that crowd is right now, the field will be just god-awful at that point in January. You might as well play it, on a sandlot, because that's what it's going to look like. And that defense and what Vic Fangio is doing, with all the pieces that he has in that offense, I think they're going to win a playoff game for sure.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.